So in this class, I would like to start the analysis of trusses, right? So in previous class, I have already discussed and attended the quiz on the determinate and indeterminate of structures from statically and kinematically. So in this class, I will start analysis of trusses. Here, I hope the screen is visible for you people. Please let me know the screen is visible and my voice is audible.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So here the analysis of truss for your syllabus it is there, and every question paper will be having the problem on this content. So and this is the most important thing we have to get to down in our first module. So analysis of truss is a part of the chapter, that is module 1. So in this analysis of truss you are going to find the kind of forces, that is whenever we are talking about the truss, it is discussed about only two forces, as we know that there are only compression as well as tension forces in the member. So whenever the truss is considered, the particular joints will be pin jointed. So in this manner, if you look into the assumptions, so if you look into the assumptions, what assumptions we can make a list. So assumptions we can have whatever the discussion is carried out for the calculating the degrees of dynamic as well as statical indeterminacies of the structure, right? So here the trusses, the members are connected at the joints, and those joints are frictionless, right? So first one we can say, that is the particular members that is considered at the joint, that is those are frictionless, right? I could write. So if you have a pen and paper, please note it down. That is frictionless. Then that means some of the assumptions we are counting down here. So the frictionless joints are observed, and that is the assumption that is considered while analyzing the trusses. And next, we can, if you see, the all members are having two forces, and that is the members will be having the two forces, whether it is a compression or tension. Two forces will be there because there is no bending moment. Bending moment is not there because there we won't get any fixed supports. There is the, so all joints will be considered as a pin jointed. So that is why the first point is considered to be a frictionless. And second, now if the points joints are pin jointed, then there is no movement. There is no movement is restricted. The movement is will be allowed. And apart from that, there is no any shear forces because the all the loads will be applied on the joints. So that means all the loads that is applied, that is on the joints. If you see the connecting of the members, that is the centroidal axis of each member is straight, and that is coincides with the line of connecting to the joints at the center. So I could say loads applied on joints itself. Loads applied on joints only. And then if you consider the particular roof truss or a truss, the that is the axis of the member will be passing in a straight line. That is, you can check centroidal axis of member is straight line. Right? So some of the assumptions that is considered in this part, that is the analysis of truss. So here, before going to this analysis of truss, we need to find out the statical indeterminacy. If the statical indeterminacy is there and that is zero, then we can have the analysis procedure, because the equations of equilibrium are more than sufficient if the statistical indeterminacy is 0, right? So if there is some values more than 3, then we cannot have the solution by referring to equations of equilibrium, right? So with this, there are two types of methods to calculate the to analyze the truss. So since the analysis of truss is nothing but whenever the particular structure will be having like this, say if you say it is a structure having a pin jointed connection, don't consider it as a hinge when it is provided with a truss. So here, if it is at the support, it is pin jointed, right? And nowhere you are getting the points at this level, at the midpoint, right? Do remember this. So whenever the trusses are considered as a pin jointed, so before this we should know that how many forces are there in the member. There might be a tension member, right? Or there may be a compression member, right? The same, only these two forces will be there in the member. No bending moments, no shear force will be acting in the members, since it is pin jointed and the loads are applied on the joints only, right? That is the assumptions what we have considered in the calculation of indeterminacy. Now, so there are, as the solution or analysis is there for the particular truss is one method of joint, and second one method of sections. So here there are two methods, method of joints as well as method of section. So method of joint and method of section, and these two methods are used to calculate the different kinds of stresses, whether it is tensional stress or compressional stresses in the member. That is used to calculate by referring to these two methods. So here, let us see what is method of joint and what is method of section. So whenever the method of joint is following, the particular joint should be having only two unknown forces. I hope you are getting what I am discussing over here, right? Say if you have a truss member like this, the truss member or these members are connecting to the joint in this manner, then see here, if you have a different number of members connected to this one, right, for the joint. So how many members are connected here? Can anyone tell me? For the particular joint, how many members are connected here, referring to this diagram? Yes. So if you consider this red dot as a joint, so how many members are connected to this joint?
5, sir.
6 numbers, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 numbers of members are connected, correct? So whenever there is a number of members connected to the particular joint, in these numbers of members, only 2 members should be unknown. Only either any of these members, only 2 members should be unknown. Then only we could carry out the kind of analysis over here. At the same time, I have considered, for an example, I have took these 2 members are unknown and these members are known. That means the forces in the remaining members should be known. Then only we will be able to calculate this method of joint, right? So at the same time, if you consider the method of section, so method of section will be considered, say for example, if you are having a truss like this, there the stress must be having an equilibrium condition. So whenever you take a section for the particular truss, the section should give an equilibrium condition on either side. So if you consider this one, then that will be a mirror image to the structure, then the condition should be satisfied as in equilibrium. So in this manner, the method of sections will be carried out. So here I would like to just discuss about what are the methods we are following to analyze the truss, given truss. So since it is more than enough to know about a method of joint and method of section, the only thing is when you start solving the problems, you will come to know that what is exactly the methods are following, right? So here I would like to start with the method of joint. I would like to start with the method of joint. So once we start the method of joint, we will discuss problems on this content, and later we'll move to the method of sections. So here to find the static, static indeterminacy should be known. So to find this static indeterminacy, the particular structure of the given truss that could be calculated. That means the static indeterminacy of the structure, and that is externally and internally, that should be find out. That is DSI and DSC, right? That must be found out, and later we can start calculating the support reactions and other things, right? I hope whatever we have discussed till now, it is clear for you people. Only thing is I have discussed the basic content over here that is related to the problems. Is that clear on the discussion what we had now? Right? Please, I need your interaction. Don't sit quiet. If you don't understand, let me know that whether in which point you didn't understand. Then I could repeat it. Okay. So here there are 4 assumptions are considered in the analysis of trusses. Each joint will be a pin jointed. Since it is pin jointed, the joints are considered to be a frictionless, and later in the truss the 2 forces will be considered, whether it is compression as well as tension forces. Later, the particular loads that are applied only on the joints, that is the assumption. You cannot consider the loads on this point. The loads will be applied or applied only on the joints, like this, only on the joint. That is an assumption. After that, since the material, if you consider like this, so material is considered like this, and particular joint. See, for this, the centroidal axis will be considered in this manner, right? And that is the 4th assumption I am discussing now. And this is the centroidal axis we are considering. Though these centroidal axis, whatever that is following, the load will be acted on the member, and that load will be transferring through this centroidal axis only. That means there is no eccentricity of load. So I hope you know that what is eccentricity. So since it is a member, load is acted on the column, and this load will be passing through the central or centroidal axis of the member only. If the member is loaded in this point, and the point is loaded, and this load is passing through this axis, then it is not considered as a centroidal axis. The particular load should be acting on the member that is considered to be non-eccentric, should not having any eccentricity value, right? Is that clear, dear friends? Please let me know. Yes, anyone? Is there any doubts regarding the discussion? Are all of you listening? Anraj, Shweta, Anraj, are you listening?
Yes, sir.
I am asking you, are you understand?
Yes.
Right? Is that clear for you people? Shivani?
Yes,
Shivani,
sir.
right? See, why you are sitting quiet? I am talking to you people, correct? What is the problem? Why you are not speaking to me? Snehal,
Yes, sir.
right? See, all of you are listening. Then why you are not replying me? See, if you sit quiet, I won't get to know that whether the discussion is going in correct way or wrong. Right? Please let me know if you have any doubts, or else whenever I ask something, please discuss or interact. Okay? Okay, fine. So this is about the brief introduction about the analysis of trusses. So in this we have discussed about the basic assumptions and different two kinds of methods to analyze the given truss, right? So now, to start this calculation or analysis, the particular structure, given structure should be can find out the statical indeterminacy of the structure. That means to find the static indeterminacy of the structure stress exactly. So first we should find the number of reactions at the support, right? So after that we should find out the equations of equilibrium. How many equations of equilibrium are there? There are 3 numbers, right? So by referring to this, the reactions, joints, and everything should be known. So can anyone tell me that how to calculate degree of static indeterminacy for the given, that is pin jointed truss? So for pin jointed member or structure, pin jointed structure. So what is the value formula for ds? Can anyone tell me? dse plus degree of statical indeterminacy externally plus degree of statical indeterminacy internally. So degree of statical indeterminacy externally, how do we find out this, guys? That is r minus 3, right? Since r is here, number of reactions, right? So after this, dsi. What is dsi? M plus r minus 2j. Is that correct, guys?
Yes, sir.
Right? So the same thing what we have discussed in previous classes, right? So whenever you start solving the problem, you must calculate the value of statical indeterminacy for both external as well as internal, right? So for example, I could take one example over here. Please calculate and tell me. This is the given structure. So in this given structure, we have the members like this. Right. So for this we have an pin joint, and that is support. And for this we have an roller support. Please calculate and tell me what is the value of ds for this, everyone. Please calculate and tell me what is the value of ds for this. Calculate the statical indeterminacy of the given structure. I give you 1 minute. Please calculate and tell me. Don't sit quiet, or else if you don't know, please tell me so that I don't know, then I could repeat over here. Yes, are you calculating? Please calculate and tell me what is the value of statical indeterminacy of this given structure. Yes?
0, sir.
0. So remaining Snehal, Mufiz, Shivani.
Sir, 0.
Shivani. Okay. So here, so what is the formula to calculate the value of kinematic indeterminacy? Since there are two supports, one support having two reactions and another support having one reaction. So there are three reactions. 3 minus 3 will be equal to 0, and right, that is for DSI plus. So for DSI, what is m plus r minus 2j? How many members are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 members are there. 7 members plus how many reactions? 3 reactions minus how many joints are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 into 2, 10. There is 10. So there are 10 joints are there. Since 3 minus 3 equal to 0, 7 plus 3 minus 10 equal to 0. So that means degree of statical indeterminacy is 0. So is that clear how we have calculated this one? So if you don't know, please let me know. Right, is that clear how we have calculated DS value? Yes? Okay, fine. Okay. So at every starting of the calculation, you must follow this step. Next one. So when you start solving the thrust by referring to method of joint. So in the method of joint, each joint is isolated as a free body, and the two equations of equilibrium would be considered. So equations of two equilibrium are those, that is summation of horizontal forces equal to 0 we could consider, and summation of vertical forces, that is equal to 0. So here there are applied loads and each joint is subsequently. That means at a load, whenever the particular truss is having the loads, say for example I could take the load at this point. Load is applied at 30 kilonewton at this point. Alright. So when you consider this 30 kilonewton load for this joint, and each joint would be having the horizontal force as well as the vertical forces. So these horizontal force and vertical force will be considered. By referring to these forces, we need to have the analysis for given truss. Right. So that is nothing but, in the method of joint, each joint is isolated as a free body, and the two equations of equilibrium would be considered as summation of horizontal force equal to 0 and summation of vertical force equal to 0. These applied loads, these are applied on the particular joints and to calculate the different kinds of stresses. And again, at each joint of the structure, there should be not more than two unknown forces. There should not be more than two unknown forces. Say for example, if I take this section, this section over here, so at joint, so it is a joint, and this is one member connected, 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 right? So there are 4 numbers of members are connected to the joint. For these, only 2 members out of these 4 should be unknown and 2 members should be known out of these 4. Then only this method of joint will be able to calculate or apply. So that means at each joint there should be not more than 2 unknown forces. In this method of joints, the forces in the members are initially assumed to be in a tension. Initially it is assumed to be a tension. If the forces is later found as a negative, then the particular member would be considered as a compression. I hope it is clear for you people. At the initial stage, each member will be having negative forces, it is assumed. Later, once you calculate, if you get a negative value, then the particular force value it would be considered as a compression, right? So this is what the particular structure will be having, right? So now I would like to take an example for this. So all of you are listening, I hope. So I will start the problem. So problem statement I will just write over here the problem statement that find the stress, and that is forces, and the forces in all members given on truss, right? So this is the only problem statement. So with this problem statement, what we could have the diagram. So I will just draw the diagram over here. C is a bottom chord member for the given truss, and this is the top chord member, and these are the members that is connected internally. Right, this is how the particular structure is considered, and for this we have an support of pin jointed, and for this we have an support of rollers. So for the given truss, the load is applied at the joints, for these 2 joints. So for this joint it is applied as 60 kilonewton, and for this joint it is applied at 30 kilonewton. Right. So this is how the particular structure and that is question is given. So for this, at the initial stage when you start solving for the particular calculations, you should start from calculating the degree of statical indeterminacy. So please calculate and tell me the indeterminacy of the given structure. Calculate and tell me the statical indeterminacy of the given structure. For external, it is considered to be R minus 3. So there are 3 numbers of reactions, and there will be 3 that is equal to 0. And internal, how many it is? M plus R minus 2J. Am I right? So how many members are there? There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 members are there, and 3 reactions are there. So how many joints are there? 2 into 1, 2, 3,
7.
4, 5, 6, 7. Yes? Yes, tell me.
0, sir.
Yes. 14, that is 11 plus 3, 14 minus 14. Right. So this is how the statistical indeterminacy should be find out. So at the initial stage, the first calculation should be calculated, carry out this one whenever the particular truss is given to analyze. So this is the first step I could consider, right? So I will just, that is step 1 is the step 1, right? So next I would consider the step 2. So in the step 2, that we need to calculate the reactions, because once we get the degree of static indeterminacy as a 0, then the particular given structure would be analyzed by referring to equations of equilibrium, correct? So by referring to the diagram, the equations of equilibrium will be summation of horizontal force, summation of vertical force would be 0, and summation of moments will be considered as a 0, that is can consider on later cases, right? So here, so I forgot to write the dimensions for this, and this is 4 meter length, and this is 4 meter length, and this is 4 meter length, again this one 4, and this is 4 meter, right? So this is what the given question. And now for this we'll be having the forces in this member in this direction as well as in this direction for the given support, and again for the given support only we have the vertical reactions. Am I right? So hence there are two loads that is acting downward in the given structure. These two loads will be having only vertical forces, or vertical reactions will be generating, since there is no any horizontal forces applying to this at the stage. Then we could consider the summation of horizontal forces, summation of all horizontal forces would be 0. Do you people agree with this? Because there is no any horizontal forces acting on the given joints, only the vertical loads are acting, there is no horizontal forces. Because of these vertical forces, the reactions for these vertical forces will be generated, right? So generated value will be, say we consider the vertical force at A and vertical force at B, VA and VB, right? Is that clear, guys? So next we could consider summation of vertical forces to 0. So since the summation of vertical forces are considered 0, then what is the value of VA and what is the value of VB here? So what is the value of VA and what is the value of VB? So how do you calculate the reaction force of VA and VB? Can anyone tell me here? How do you calculate the reaction forces? Can anyone tell me?
Total distance into load, sir.
By taking the moments for the joints, correct? Good. So for this, the total vertical forces are, how many vertical forces are there? VA vertical force is there. Along with that, VB vertical force is there, right? And now we have N30 that is acting downward, and along with that, that is 60 acting downward. I hope the sign convention you people are remember. Hence all forces will be equating to 0. That means the VA plus VB equating to 60 plus 30, it is 90. That is, when you consider on this side, it will be like this. Is that clear? How what I have written here? Right? Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Right. So now, once we find out, once we know that what is horizontal forces and 0 and vertical forces are this much, then the reaction forces, that is VA and VB, should be known, right? The reactions should be known. So how do you write that reactions? For reactions, I could take the moment about point A as a 0, then I will take all the moments. For better view, I will write over here summation of moments at joint A I will consider as 0. So for this, if you consider like this, how you can write for this? So here this VB into 4 plus 4 plus 4, and since it is a point taken hinge, then VB will be rotating in this manner, right? So that is anti-clockwise. Then I could write VB, that is VB into 4 into 3, that is 12. Am I right? I hope you people are able to observe the cursor. See this VB into 4 plus 4 plus 4. This is the total distance, horizontal distance for this load, and this force into this distance will be having the moment, and the moment will be considered a 0 at this point, and that is hinge at A. So if you consider hinge at A, the VB into 4 will be 12, right? So for along with this, what is the load? We have 60 into 8, 4 plus 4, and that is acting clockwise. 60 into 8. Along with this, we have one more, that is 30 into 4, which is equating to 0. And if you write, that is 12, that is minus 12. I can write here minus 12 VB plus 8 4 ja 8 6 ja, that is 48 480 plus 30 into 4, that is 120, that is equating to 0. Since VB equal to how much, you can calculate here. If you calculate what is the value of VB now, 480 plus 120, 600, 600 divided by 12. So what is the value of 600 by 12 now? It is 50. 12 5 is 60, and it is 50 kilonewton. Is this calculation clear for you people? What we have done here? So once we know the value of VB, then we can calculate the value of VA. So what is VA plus VB equal to 90 we have. So in this, if you substitute VB equal to 50, VA plus 50 equal to 90, then VA would be equal to 40 kilonewton. Is that clear, guys, what we have done here?
Yes, sir.
Right? So VB is this much, what we have calculated for 50 kilonewton, and VA is 40 kilonewton, and VB is 50 kilonewton, and 50 40 will be 90, and 60 30 will be 90. That means all reactions are in equilibrium condition, right? This is this much clear,
Yes, sir.
right? This is the step number 2. So now I will consider step number 3. So I will write here itself. Step number. So for step number 3, if you consider at the step number 1, we determine the first particular structure is stable. Then you can have the analysis by referring to equations of equilibrium. So once the equations of equilibrium are known, then for referring to those, we have calculated the reaction forces in the member. Again, I would like to draw this diagram for your convenience of calculation, right? Okay, over here I could write only two forces. Right, this is what the given structure. So in this given structure, I will consider this is a first joint, right, and this is second joint, third joint, fourth joint, fifth joint, sixth joint, and seventh joint. I will consider these numbers of joints, right? So now I will start by one by one. That is, I will first consider joint number 1. Later I will consider joint number 2. Likewise, I will consider up to joint number 7. So now, if you consider a joint number 1, please refer the diagram. The same question I have drawn here. So if you refer joint number 1, the joint number 1 would be like this. This is a member having the direction, and one more, this is the member having direction, right? For these, we have one vertical reaction, one horizontal reaction. Am I correct? Please listen, this is most important. At the particular joint, at this joint, if you consider joint number 1, here we have one horizontal force as well as one reaction and two members. Since the method of joint, what we have discussed, there should be two unknown forces only. Since here the vertical reaction VA is known to be a 40 kilonewton, right, and the horizontal force summation of H is known to be 0, and now we have only two forces. So for these forces, I would like to name it as the forces as F1 2 and F13, right? So for this I would like to write F12 and F13. At the similar stage, I would like to write and other, that is second joint. Are you getting what I am writing here? Until and unless you say yes or no, I won't start. I will be quiet. I will be listening your words. Is that clear? Is that understanding what I am writing here?
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay. Now for the joint 1, I have written F12 and F13. And at the, if you come to joint number 2, you'll be having these four members. Since this is the joint 2 and this is the joint 1. If you come to joint 2, then this member will be of F21, F21, and this is F24, because we have fourth member, fourth joint at here, that is F24, and we have F23, right? And if you come to joint number 3, and for this we have like this. Are you getting? So this is joint number 3. So if you come to joint number 3, this is F31, right? This is F32. Are you getting? And now this is F35, right? And this is F34, right? That means from third joint to fourth joint we have the forces. And at the same time, if you consider the joint number 4 having like this, right? This joint number is having like this, and this joint is fourth number, right? That is 4-2. That is, if you consider this member from the fourth joint, that is F42, and from it is F46, right? This is F46, and if you consider in this direction, this is F45, right? And from this joint, that is fifth one, if you consider here, that is F35, right? And now if you consider the joint number 6, joint number 6, that will be having like this, right? The joint number 6 will be having like this. So for this F64 it is, and this is 65, and it is 67, right? So now if you consider the joint number 7, it will be having like this. For this 7th joint, it is 67, and here if you consider, it is 75. From here it is 57. Do you people got it? What I have written? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Everyone, you got it? How I have written these joints? Only thing, when you observe while writing, then only you will begin to know. After once you start seeing it, you won't get to know this, because the explanation is most important while writing the things. Yes, dear friends.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now I will start by considering joint number 1. So I will the joint number 1 is having like this, and this is vertical force we have, and this is horizontal force we have. So for this vertical force, what we have given notation, that is 1-2, that is F12, right? And here for this one I have given as F13, right? F12 and F13, because it is going to joint number 2 and it is going to joint number 3, right? So I need to know that the angle between these two, because the horizontal forces need to be considered as well as the vertical forces need to be considered, right? So can you able to tell me how to calculate this angle between these two members by referring to question? So can you able to tell me how to calculate this angle? Anyone? Since you people are from PUC, then you have already learned the things, that is elements of civil engineering. The same thing you have carried out there. Right? Don't know? Don't know how to calculate the value of theta? Yes? See, you people, if you sit quiet, it won't be good. It's not good. If just let me know whether if you don't know, then I could solve it. Okay. Anyhow, so by referring to sin theta, cos theta, and tan theta, I hope you remember this. From this figure, if you consider a cos theta, what is the cos theta over here? That is adjacent by hypotenuse. So here adjacent, I would for in the 4 meter, I will consider the half of this one to reach this top. It is 2 meter, and having the hypotenuse of 4 meter over here, the theta of cos inverse will be of 0.5, and that is a 60 degree. That is a 60 degree. So once you get the theta value of 60 degree, the summation of horizontal forces, right, summation of vertical forces need to be calculated. So the resolving of these forces and the resolving of vertical forces and horizontal forces I will discuss in the coming class, right? So since it is already we have gone through 4 classes today, I can understand you people, you are not showing any interest while discussing in this content. So in tomorrow first class, tomorrow it is the first class, I will discuss these things again. That is by resolve, that is joint number 1. Okay, is that clear? Is that okay for you, Anraj?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, yes, Shweta?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Okay, thank you all. Tomorrow, please attend the class. Don't miss. Tomorrow I will start discussing this each joint. So tomorrow in tomorrow's class, I will complete all the joints of calculation by referring to the method of joint. Okay. So with this note, I will thank you for your kind attention towards the classes. Thank you, everyone. You can leave.